Hi everybody, if you will for me, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I have a new review for you, and that review is going to be Tron Legacy, the sequel to the 1982 Tron, which I'll have that link down below if you haven't seen the review yet. I usually post the review to the prequel to a movie that I'm reviewing. So yeah, Tron Legacy. So we have Garrett Hedlund, who plays Sam Flynn. We have Jeff Bridges, who plays his father, Kevin Flynn. And Jeff Bridges was in the first movie as well too. He's like the main star of the first of this and the last film. And then we have Bruce Boxleitner, who who played the creator of the Tron program from the first movie. His avatar in the grid was Tron, and and then we also have Olivia Wilde, who is a newcomer in here. Um, so now this movie, so as far as this movie goes, this is basically starts if the movie starts out takes place in 1985, uh and this is back when so this is a little bit years later after the first movie, and Kevin Flynn, again played by Jeff Bridges, he's like this he's the owner of Enron now, like he owns the company, and he's on the brink of like this new technology or whatever they're putting together. So uh his son Sam, uh I can't remember the kid's name who played his son. I can't remember that kid's name, but he basically grows up to be, Garrett Hedlund. And if you remember Garrett Hedlund, I remember his face because I was like, that's the dude that was in Four Brothers with Tyrese Gibson, um, Mark Wahlberg, Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, and Andre 3000. So that's where I remember his face from, was Four Brothers, the John Singleton movie. So he's basically the main star in here, and the fresh young blood, the fresh young blood. So he basically his so what happens is his father is the owner of the company Enron, and he uh he walks out. His father walks out the door, um, with questionable CG de aging of Jeff Bridges, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But so he basically goes he leaves that night and completely vanishes. And in fact, he doesn't come. He vanishes for like over 20 years. Like he's gone for like so yeah, 22, so almost about 20 years, like close to 20 years. He just vanishes. Um, so that leaves Bruce Boxleitner's character, the creator of the Tron program, to basically raise him as kind of like a as like a stepfather, like a father figure, until he becomes an adult. So Sam, he has to go in, and Sam's a loser. He's a loser, man. This dude doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a girlfriend, and Bruce Boxleitner was telling him, he's like, man, you could take over the company. Like your father left the company. He's like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to take over the company. And I'm like, what else do you have, man? Yeah, like you're living in a garage. Like, what else do you have? Uh, so he just wants to be rebellious. So Bruce Boxleitner tells him, he's like, your father, he left you a page, and he told you to come to this spot below his office, and he gave you these instructions. And so he goes down there, and Before you know it, he's in the grid, and we have a movie. And what I will say about this movie, uh, so what what I will say is, I do like the acting in here. I think the acting here is pretty good. Uh, I mean, even like the acting in the first movie, I thought was pretty spot on. Um, Especially with like Jeff Bridges, Garrett Hedlund, Olivia Wilde. I thought the acting was pretty good. Um, I even like the gay guy in the grid. I can't remember who his name was, man. That that dude had me laughing. No, he was cool. He was cool. Like he seemed like the life of the party, so that was kind of nice. Uh, so the thing with this is, I actually do like the CG in this. Now considering this movie was out 16 years ago now. That's crazy. 16 years. 2010 was 16 years ago. You feel some of y'all feel old out there. So, uh, I will say though, for this movie to be 16 years old, the technology still looks amazing because I think around that time, this is when we had like Marvel films. This is where this 2010. This back where like this was like a couple years after the MCU had kicked off. This is a year before we had the first Avatar movie that was had groundbreaking visuals, and we still have those Avatar movies deliver groundbreaking visuals today. So Disney's Tron doesn't do a bad job with the visuals. From the light cycle races, which are kind of cool in here, and they look a lot better than they did in Tron 1982. Like I said, even with like 1982, that Tron having that type of groundbreaking visuals, there's a huge improvement here, and I think that has to contribute to the limited technology we had back then versus what we have now. Um, so I thought that was really cool. Like I said, the light cycle races looked amazing in here. Looked far better. Um, the disc fighting races look kind of cool. Um, just everything overall in the grid looked phenomenal. And and like I said, the actors are good. I liked Olivia Wilde in here. She plays like this like badass female assassin. She's like a female warrior. I wouldn't say assassin. She's more like a female warrior in here. Um, and she's really good in this as well too. Uh, Jeff Bridges. I thought Jeff Bridges was fine in here. He was good. My only issue with Jeff Bridges, and I don't know if this will throw people off too. This threw me off a little bit. His character in here, I couldn't help sometimes, but he reminded me of like his Big Lebowski character. He would say lines like, "Yeah, that's my vibe, man." Are you the guy in Tron? Are you Kevin Flynn? Are you the Big Lebowski? Like, what's going on here? uh, yeah, he would just say things like, "Yeah, come on, that's my jam, man. That's my vibe, man." Like a lot of sits in with like, man. I was just like, okay. I guess they tried to make his character, even though he was like older, they tried to make his character like cooler as he was in the original movie, I guess. Um, and this brings me to my earlier point too. That's right. That's what I also meant to bring up. So the CG de aging of Jeff Bridges. You know what? I was mixed on it. I was mixed on the de aging. So there's parts where it kind of looked convincing, but then there was parts where it's like, okay, that looks like CG. Like that looks like y'all. That looks CG. Um, I don't know how it's gonna feel if you ever watch Tron Legacy. His de aging, for better or worse, it didn't bother me. It didn't, but there was times where I saw it and I could tell it was CG. Um, so there's that. Uh, like I said, I thought I did mention Olivia Wilde in her too, right? I was trying to see if I got all the positives out the way because we're going to get to the negatives here. Uh, so the negatives to this movie, um, I didn't really care for the story. So I think so when I think when I got like, so this is a 2 hour film, right? So I think I got halfway through this movie. It was the hour mark, and I sat there and watched this and was like, yeah, this movie's confusing. I was like, because it was like, it feels like it was written by somebody who had a bunch of ideas for the script. When they were in the script, they put a bunch of ideas into the script, and the there were so many ideas that they just kind of cluttered them and left them onto the page, and that was our script. There are characters that bring up jargon. They bring up a bunch of jargon, a bunch of plot points. Sometimes the plot points are kind of random and they come out of nowhere. And it's just it's an incoherent mess. Uh, I think that's the best way to describe this plot. Um, because I feel like just like the first Tron film, this movie commits the same exact sin of having too much to say and not saying absolutely anything. That's pretty much what this is. Because it almost feels like the plot was secondary and the visuals and the CG were like front and center. Um, and if you and like I said, the technology is amazing. It's the technologies are phenomenal. I just feel like there's just not a coherent story or really good um or like the best character development to keep this plot moving forward. I just felt like I was just watching this movie for the visuals. Uh so if that's not something that you're into, you're not going to like this movie. You're just not going to. There are people who don't like this movie. The scores aren't even that high on this movie at all, and I'm not even necessarily going by the Rotten Tomato scores. I'm just kind of giving you what I saw and what I thought about it, and I will say like once I got to it and they started describing the plot, I'm like, yeah, y'all lost me. I don't know what's going on. Because I know there's times where I kept falling asleep on this movie, and it wasn't because the movie was necessarily boring to me. I was trying to watch it very late, and I kept falling asleep on it like a few times, and I finally got to actually sit down and watch it and pay attention to everything. And I was like, yeah, this movie doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Um, this just felt like this was a movie where Disney wanted to brag and show off the new technology. That's it. Yeah, so if you're looking for character, you're looking for story, you're not gonna find it here. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna give this the same thing I gave the first Tron movie. I'm gonna give this a moderate review or moderate recommend. It's moderate recommend. I'm just in the middle with it. Uh, nice technology, not a good story, kind of bland characters a little bit. Um, but yeah, that is definitely my review for Tron Legacy. Moderate review. Um, and if you think this is a masterpiece, if you actually love this movie and you think I'm crazy, comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought about the movie. And I will see you in the next review. Peace.